Good morning and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have representatives on from both the Haven Project and Harborlight Homes. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Absolutely, thank you for having us.
Great. So first things first, would you mind just introducing yourselves to the audience, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Angelica Perez Baez. I am the Interim Executive Director of the Haven Project.
And I'm Kristin Carlson. I'm the Director of Real Estate Development at Harborlight Homes.
Great. So before we dive into the specific project you're working on, would you mind both explaining what your specific organizations really are focused on, your missions?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Havens Project mission is equipping and empowering young adults between the ages of 17 to 24 who are housing unstable and unaccompanied. This is a particular population that demands a lot of care because they tend to fall through the cracks, and we come in and provide them the supportive services they need to be successful.
Great.
Harborlight Homes is focused on real estate, affordable housing in particular. We build, develop, and manage a portfolio of affordable homes around the North Shore. So we're very happy to be able to partner with the Haven Project on this really service-enriched housing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a project you're working on in Lynn. It's going to be on Monroe Street. So, Kristin, would you be able to tell us a little bit about the development, how it's going, like what specifically is going to be offered once it's open?
Yeah, sure. So it's in construction right now. And it will be, it's in the top 2 floors of the existing historic building. And it will be a total of 23 units of affordable housing, small studios for individuals. It will have some community spaces. We're putting a new elevator in the building for accessibility and upgrading to high efficiency mechanical systems. We're putting solar on the roof. And for folks who move in, the apartments will also be furnished. So that's coming together. We expect construction to go through about the end of March or so. So we're cruising right along.
Yeah, you're getting close. It's getting exciting. And Angelica, I know you can speak a little bit about some of the support services that will also be offered in addition to this housing.
Yes, so the cool thing about this particular project is that we're not only housing people who have been priorly homeless and giving them a space that they can call their own, but we're also giving them those supportive services, that case management, those community connections and resources to make sure that they're able to long-term sustain housing. So It's not about just here is the house, it's about let me help you sustain it and be able to be long-term successful.
And you're currently in a period of accepting applications for the lottery where you'll pick people. How would people go about applying and how long is it open for?
Yeah, sure. So the lottery is underway, or the application period, I should say, is underway. We literally will pull numbers out of a hat because that's the only fair way to do it. So that is the lottery. The application period is open through January 15th. And you can find applications at many places, including with the Haven Project at their cafe. You can find them online at Harborlight's website. Or you can call us and ask for an application.
They can be found in multiple languages, so we have them in English, Spanish, Haitian Creole, and Portuguese as well.
Great, because there are so many languages in Lynn, as we all know.
Yes.
And I'm curious, how did this partnership initially start? Because this has been going on for many years, this project, going through all the steps.
Yeah, I always say it's like an endurance sport, developing affordable housing, because there are so many pieces at the local level, at the state level, and at the federal level of funding that come together. So it started really that the Haven Project had potential use of these top 2 vacant floors of the building, and they really wanted to build housing for their clients, an option for housing that they didn't have at the time. And Harborlight is, we're experienced on the real estate development side, so we kind of came in to assist with that, and we wound up forming a joint venture with the Haven Project. So where we each kind of bring to the table what our strengths are. So supportive services matched with the sort of physical housing to create really a pretty unique place for for people to live.
Yeah, unique. And it's called Catalyst Housing. Is there a significance to that name in and of itself?
I think that comes from one of our slogans or tag phrases, which is be a catalyst for change. We don't just want to be another place that is able to offer you resources or an application to fill, but we want to be that catalyst that is going to equip you with the skills you need to be able to succeed in life longer term, even at the point where you're no longer working with us.
And you were mentioning too, sometimes this age range, 17-24, can kind of fall through the cracks. Why is it so important to offer these services, offer this housing to this age range?
Yes, so there are a lot of other projects and services in the community. Lynn is a very rich community in community services, and most of them are designed specifically for families, or they're designed specifically for young adults who are actively parenting. But when you find yourself between those ages of 17 to 24, and you're unaccompanied, and you don't really know where to go or who to ask for help, that's when things tend to fall through the cracks. They don't recognize, some of them don't know that they're literally homeless. Some of them don't know that they can ask for help. And a lot of them have been failed by other systems. So taking that step of looking for services, it's huge. And if you don't have the services that is established to help you and understand this population, things will go wrong. So that's why we're here, and that's why this kind of services and this kind of housing opportunities are so relevant, because this is a growing population, and we really want to make sure that we're addressing the needs of the youth in our community.
And you were even showing me a couple of pictures of the construction. They're nice. They're studio apartments. They're going to come fully furnished. So what would be included if you were to move into one of these apartments?
Yeah, sure. So they are studios. They're not huge, but they do have nice tall ceilings and big windows. And they all have their own full bathroom, kitchen with all the range and fridge, and so you can cook and you can, it's a full apartment, even though it's a small footprint. So, for someone who moves in, obviously they have their apartment that's furnished, but there's community spaces within the building, and everyone will have access to a resident, basically a caseworker, who, it's not required for the housing, but that person is there to support residents in whatever, they might need, right? So once you get into housing and that piece is stable, then maybe there's an opportunity to pursue other parts of your life, right? So that's the idea.
So the key piece about what Kristin is saying there is this is not just housing. This is designed to be supportive housing.
Yes.
So as she was mentioning, there's going to be staff there's going to be office spaces within the housing space, so that people that might need access to resources or might need access to counseling can access that without having to go outside and, let's say, go downstairs to our office space. They literally have it integrated. Which is going to be key when we're trying to keep the attention and focus of these young adults to help them longer term.
Like you said, not just housing, you're helping them build maybe community relationships, giving them resources to thrive even beyond maybe once they do move out of this.
Yeah. And it is important to note that this isn't sort of interim housing. This is permanent housing.
Yes.
So there's not a time clock or anything. But obviously the hope is that as you are able to pursue other things, you can, you may want a little bigger place, but there's no time limit on how long you're allowed to live there.
That is a good point to mention, is that these units are designed for occupancy of one. So if you're a couple, you don't necessarily qualify for the services, or let's say you've been living there for a long time, then it comes to a point where you want to form a family or you have a partner, then that will not necessarily be the right housing for you.
Right. Yeah.
Situations can evolve, but it is going to hit a point where they tell you, okay, now you have to leave now. No,
Right.
It's when things evolve, if you hit a point where you yourself say, no, it's time for me to move on and maybe get something larger.
Yep.
Yes.
Great. And I know I do have to wrap up in a moment because these always go by so fast, but was there any other points that I hadn't made that you wanted to make sure you mentioned?
I think something else that it's good to mention is that there are 2 mobility units. So people who have some sort of mobility issue are welcome to apply as well. And there is 1 sensory unit for people who have hearing impairment as well.
Great, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I would just say that these deals are very challenging to put together, and none of it happens without local support. So the City of Lynn has definitely stepped up in a big way to support this, both financially and just with assistance as we move through the process. So we're very grateful for that. Applications, again, are due by January 15th. So when in doubt, apply. That's what I say, if you're not sure. And the age range for this housing, there's a preference for individuals who are 18 to 24.
Okay.
Because that dovetails with the services that Haven Project provides. So it's a preference. So certainly if you're in that age range, apply.
Great. I like that expression, when in doubt, apply. I'm going to use that now.
Yeah. Never hurts to apply.
Of course. But I want to thank you again so much for coming on to share this amazing project, and I'm really excited to see when it's all finished.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, Danny. It's been a pleasure.
We're excited for move-in day, too.
Yes, you're getting there. A few more months.
Almost there.
Almost there. And once again, this has been the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and we will see you next week with more guests.